this video, I'm going to tell you about the new Kill Team expansion, Pariah Nexus, and it's not going to be a lot of fun. Sometimes, in the contents of my videos, someone will comment and say, man, it took him until this many minutes into the video before he got to the point. So for those folks, this box is $160, and I don't think it's worth it. Now, for everyone else, I'm going to go over why I think that this new box here for Kill Team is problematic at best. So, $160. I got this box on Friday night, just before dinner time. The embargo where you could talk about it and stuff like that on YouTube and wherever was less than 12 hours away, because they do it at 10 a.m. GMT, which in my area is about 4 a.m. on Saturday morning. And so I got it 6:30 p.m. on Friday night. They had said, Games Workshop had said that due to Brexit and COVID and winter storms and all that stuff, it was very possibly going to be late. And so that was sort of expected. But I didn't want to just crank out a video quick Friday night and put it up there so that I would say, hey, here it is. You know, I wanted to kind of think about it. And the other more important thing is that as of Friday night, I didn't know what the price was. So I wanted to wait until Saturday when the pre-orders went up, and then I saw the price. And I got to be honest, I don't think $160 is a good price for this box. Now, this is, again, not a starter. It's also difficult to open. A lot of people asked me in comments and on Twitch and things like that, and they say, well, should I wait until Pariah Nexus comes out so that I can start playing Kill Team? And this is not a starter. It does not have the core rulebook in it, so, and it says that right on there. They never said, oh yeah, no, definitely, you know, this is always said, this is not a starter, it is an expansion. So let me take it out here. All right, so there's a lot of plastic stuff in here, right? A decent amount. Okay. So number one is you have, and I'm not going to call it terrain. This is scattered terrain at best. It's basically a bunch of Necron doors and waste paper baskets, as far as I can tell. But you use these in the game. This is a very kind of two-dimensional game. This is much like Kill Team Arena in that it is played on a flat board. There's no real three-dimensionality except for these things right here. So we'll get rid of those, and that's fine. What's left plastic-wise in the box is 12 miniatures. So, okay, so 12 miniatures. You get 2 commanders, one for the Necrons, the Chronomancer, and one for the Primaris. And that's a Primaris captain with master-crafted heavy bolt rifle. So those are on these sprues, right? You got your Chronomancers on 2 sprues here, and you got your captain right there. Boom. Okay. So those models are not currently available anywhere else, but they probably will be available soon. Here are 5 heavy intercessors, which again probably will be available, you know, in a normal box or whatever. But this is the first place that you can get them, and they go up against 5 flayed ones. Now, if you look at the point costs in the book, these are wildly different in point costs. Like it's astounding how different they are. They are not 2 equal forces for you to play and have a good time with, just straight up. Initially, I thought, oh, well, maybe they'll make it, and I think I mentioned this in at least a live show someplace, maybe they'll make it like Space Hulk, where you get X amount of actual Tyranid models, but when they die, they can keep coming back, and it's just a swarm of them, and they just keep coming and keep coming. And I haven't found that so far in the book. So, yeah, so that's kind of a problem as well that people have been noticing, and I've been noticing. I mean, I'm looking forward to building the flayed ones because I made my own flayed ones a while back. Pachow for Kill Team. So having some like actual good ones as opposed to mine, which were okay. They taught me some things. I learned some things about how to make very flat green stuff. That's what I mentioned there in that Pachow. But yeah, so again, these models should be coming out soon, available in separate things. The thing that's interesting about this, and I'm going to get to this when I get to the book, is that I kind of expected that the book would be sold separately as well. Like you could buy the book, but you could also buy the box, including the book. And that wasn't the case. I was really expecting on Saturday morning when I got up and saw the prices and all the information that there were going to be 2 SKUs, one for just the book and one for the box with the book. And they didn't do that. And I'm going to mention that in a little bit. Okay, so then you get a full color doohickey here that tells you how to put together all the models and all that kind of stuff. That's always nice. It's helpful to have these kind of things, so hooray for that. And you got some bases, right? So you got those, a bunch of different sizes, predominantly 32s and what, 40s or 50s? I'm not sure. You got the book, got some cards. Oh, I didn't realize they were stuck together like that. That's interesting. But you got some cards and even some transfers up here. You can see those came in the box as well. And then the board, which again has got a bit of an arena type feel to it. It's got two sides, so it's kind of two different missions or whatever, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, that really just leaves us to talk about what we're getting in the book, which is what the majority of the people want to know about. Now, here's the thing. Let me just put this over here. This book has got 112 pages. Yep, 112 pages. And the majority of it is, frankly, data sheets. Kind of. Data sheets, like the kill teams. Here we go. This is all just like the data sheets and kill team information for the Space Marines and the Necrons. And the rest of this over here is a bit of fluff and some missions, match play missions, ultra close confines missions, which they talked about originally, I believe, in Arena. Those have been sort of updated and tweaked now. You know, you've got how to play the specific different boards and things like that. And so, you know, it makes sense. It's the stuff that you would need to know what you're doing with the game. Again, you will need a copy of the Kill Team Core Manual to use the contents of this book, which they make very clear both on the outside of the box and on this book. That being said, I think that the smart play, frankly, and maybe they'll do this down the road, but I don't know. The smart play would have probably been to sell this book separately. Still sell it in the box for those people who want to buy both, obviously. But the book should have been, by the thickness, let's say a $30 book, maybe a $35 book. And the reason that people are going to want to buy this book, and maybe not necessarily be as interested in the whole box game, is because if you play Space Marines or Necrons, this is your new data sheets. So you kind of need to buy this box if you're going to be playing with Space Marines and Necrons. And that's not great. That's pretty troublesome because those are probably two of the most popular armies out there right now because of the release of Indominus, and a ton of people bought Indominus and stuff, so a lot of people have that stuff. I know my plan was to make some Space Marines, some new Space Marine kill teams because of the Assault Primaris, which they have in here. You know, they've got all the information in here. There are currently, in this book now, 31 different data sheets for Space Marines. Everything from the normal stuff that came in the original book to now the Assault Intercessors. You've got a lot of commanders. Out of the 31 different data sheets in this book for Space Marines, nearly half, 15 of them, are commanders. So if you don't play commanders, and you know, I gotta be honest, I don't know a ton of people that play commanders. I keep hearing that it's getting bigger over in Europe, but as far as competitive play, that from what I have heard in the States, generally the different big tournaments and stuff like that, which obviously didn't happen in 2020 and probably won't happen much also in 2021, the big tournaments have pretty much just stuck with the normal core rule book because then it doesn't require that you also have to own an expansion or two. You play the normal core stuff. Now, like I said, over in Europe, things are changing. I've played Commander a couple of times with some people, and then we've just sort of stopped and stuck with the normal game. But I was reading on Reddit, and there was a particular comment by a person that said it seems like Games Workshop has a fetish for commanders, and 15 out of 31 Space Marines being commanders may back that up. But there are differences now in here. This is not just like, oh, well, we've just combined all the rules and put them into one nice book for you that you have to pay $160 to get at. Honestly, things have changed. Normal Tactical Marines are 2 wounds now. Terminators are 3 wounds. And there's a bunch of different things like that. Point costs have changed, again, with Tactical Marines and stuff like that. So since there was no Kill Team Annual 2020, and I mean, this is for Necron players and Space Marine players a little bit kind of the, you know, Kill Team Annual 2020. And I think that that's going to be real problematic. People are going to be unhappy about the fact that if they play one of those two armies, they have to get this book, which only comes in that box at $160 to be able to have the most recent data sheets and points for their armies. And then again, there's the cost, $160 US. I didn't look at the other prices and stuff like that, but you know. It's basically 12 miniatures. So there's 12 miniatures in there. And like I said, a bunch of doors and waste paper baskets and a board and a book, which is thinner than the core book, which sells for $40. And so the whole thing's $160. I'm not a great mathematician, but I can tell you that the upcoming Cursed City game from Games Workshop has got 8 hero models in it, 42 enemy models in it, and then like 10 objective markers that are like cool, like skeletons pointing this way, hanging off of a wood thing and all that kind of stuff. So let's just call that basically 60 models. And by doing the math, that box is going to have to be $1,000, evidently, if we're going to just follow the same math. Now, obviously, that's not how things work. But I think $160 for this box, frankly, is way out of line, especially when this is something that you need to have if you want to go forward playing Space Marines and Necrons in Kill Team. Again, if they would have made it separate, sold this book separately, $30, $35, whatever, I don't care. If they would have sold this book separately, but then also had the box set and said, here you go, you know, you can also buy this and get all this, and it's kind of like a different separate game, except it's an expansion, so you still have to have the actual core rules, just by the way. I mean, the current starter box for Kill Team, which has got Space Marines versus Tau, and they're supposed to be Space Wolves, but they're basically Space Marines. And it also comes with some terrain. That's also $160. And by some, I mean not as much as the original, you know, wholly vaunted original starter box, which was an amazing, amazing deal. Basically a loss leader for Games Workshop. I get that. The new starter, you don't get as much terrain, but it still costs as much as this box. And it does come with terrain. It comes with 2 forces. Admittedly, not like tons and tons of models. It's not like 10 models per side. But it also comes with the core book, so you can actually buy that and play. Go right out of the box. Whereas this, you can put this stuff together and then you get yourself the core book and then find out that your 2 armies here are wildly mismatched. I don't know. I don't personally believe that it bodes super well for Kill Team. A lot of people over the last year and a half have been like, oh, is Kill Team, you know, heading out? Is it going off into the pastures? Is it going off towards the west? And I still frankly don't think so, and I specifically don't hope so, but I was really hoping that there was going to be something different from this game, even beyond the price, which is a crazy thing in my opinion, but it's a totally different thing. What comes out in this book and in the game, it's kind of a bit of a replacement to Arena, which not a ton of people necessarily were playing anyway. You know, again, if you've been playing it and you've been playing with a group of 300, let me know in the comments below. You know, but most people I see don't use it. They've not really been using Arena too much in the big tournaments like ITC and Nova and those guys. They've put together their own special packet so they can still keep using the 3-dimensional rules. It's what we were using at Adepticon as well. So I don't know. This is a product that doesn't necessarily seem to have a people to some degree, but it's sort of forcing its way into having the Space Marine and the Necron players needing to get it so that they get the actual data sheets and things like that they're going to need. So I don't know. It's up to you whether you think that this is necessarily for you. All these models will probably be coming out separately sort of soon. So if you can wait a little while, you got that going for you. Like if you're just like, oh man, I got to have flayed ones, I'll spend $160 for flayed ones. Well, that's weird, a little bit, I think, for 5 flayed ones. But, you know, if that's what you want to do, and maybe flip the rest of the stuff on eBay or whatever, if that's your jam, cool, whatever. But, yeah, I can't recommend it, honestly. And as a person who loves Kill Team and loves skirmish games in general, this is an add-on that I just don't know if it makes any sense.